Hello everyone and welcome to Channel 18 TV News. I'm Don Julian. In the news, at a work session earlier this week, the Hopkins County Commissioners Court discussed a plan to add additional funding to the road materials budget so more county roads can be repaired. County Judge Robert Newsom said the court discussed the possibility of declaring a county emergency due to fall flooding that caused significant damage to county roads. The disaster declaration would allow the court to amend the county budget to put extra funds into the road materials budget. The extra funds will be divided evenly between the 4 county precincts. That matter will appear on Monday's County Commissioners Court agenda, and work could get underway as soon as next month. On Wednesday, there was a Chamber of Commerce ribbon cutting at the site of the Hopkins County Veterans Memorial on the downtown plaza for new chamber members, the Veterans Memorial Committee. The event stirred conversation about how the Veterans Memorial came to be. It all began when Clayton McGraw and his wife Elizabeth visited a Veterans Memorial in Kansas. McGraw brought the memorial idea back with him to Hopkins County and got pledges of support from the city, the county, and from the Hopkins County Military Coalition. Then came fundraising and construction. The Hopkins County Veterans Memorial on the downtown plaza was dedicated on July 4th, 2012.
You're invited, and please come to the vision meeting for the proposed care center on Monday, March 25th at City Hall. And here to explain the care center concept on World Down Syndrome Day, meet the visionaries, Renee Aguilar and Clay Pirtle.
Today is World Down Syndrome Day, 3/21, and I have a daughter, Gemma, that has Down syndrome. And today is just to bring awareness and celebrate kids and adults with Down syndrome. And they celebrate by wearing crazy socks. And
well, I don't know if we could get you to show your socks way up this high or not, but you have on colorful socks.
Yeah, I can show those crazy socks.
Okay.
The benefits of being a yoga instructor and a fitness instructor, we are flexible.
Yes.
World Down Syndrome Day.
Yes, ma'am, 3/21, because it's the 21st chromosome that transforms into 3 instead of 2, and so they celebrate on 3/21.
Okay. So your life has changed since Gemma came into the world.
Yes, ma'am.
And put you in the mind of a different kind of atmosphere for her, maybe an idea of a new world for her. And Candy is your niece, Renee.
She is. Candy and I are only 5 years apart, so I was 5 years old when Candy came into my life, and we have been inseparable ever since. And of course, it's always emotional when I talk about Candy.
Well, you may have seen Candy Redding around, and she actually is 40, almost 40.
Yes,
okay.
She will be 40 August 12th. Her nickname is Chicky, a.k.a. Chicky. Everyone knows her as Chicky, or the coffee thief.
Okay.
She loves coffee.
Well, she is forever a child, and thankfully she has had an extended family to care for her since the passing of her mother.
Yes.
And but there's more that's wanted and needed.
Yes.
What is a care center, and what is your dream of this?
Well, the care center is something that's been in my heart for a number of years, and something that I have envisioned and created in my mind over and over again. And over the last years, Candy's care has become more extensive because she's aging. Physically and bodily, she looks like a very young teenager, but mentally in her mind, she is aging, and there are certain services that are not available here in the rural community that we would love to have for her. And so over the years, I have just decided that, why not create this yourself? You have the resources, you live in a very giving community. My mother equipped me with the skill sets to go out and navigate this and create this. And I am actually going back to school to become a psychiatric mental health nurse practitioner, because the psychiatric side of this is greatly needed in rural communities and just across the board. And when you pair diagnoses like IDD, which is intellectual developmental disability, in conjunction with Down syndrome and just the things that people go through in their day-to-day lives, navigating life, it pays a toll on their mental health. So you pair all of these diagnoses, and psychiatric care is greatly needed.
Down syndrome has a whole different set of needs.
Yes, and that's what brought me to this vision. Since we found out 3 years ago that we were having Gemma, one of the eye-opening things was the doctor immediately said, because we had prenatal testing, let's go take care of this. And me and my wife looked at each other and we're like, no, that's not an option. We're gonna, and luckily our doctor was like, okay, let's go ahead, and we went through the process. And
some couples, upon the discovery of this, decide to terminate.
Yes,
pregnancy.
actually in America it's 70% of children that have Down syndrome are aborted. 70%. In Iceland, it's up to 100%. They're trying to eradicate Down syndrome babies, and which is the complete opposite of what needs to happen. Of course, we were scared when we found out, but I will never forget a good friend of ours, Jana Goforth. She called my wife and she said she congratulated us and told us how lucky we were. And I didn't understand that at the time, but Gemma has changed our lives tremendously and brought us so much joy and happiness. And there's just, she just brings, she doesn't come into contact with anyone that she doesn't bring joy to, and it's really brought our family closer, our extended family, and it's really opened my eyes to the community of special needs individuals that I just was not aware of prior to Gemma. And we're lucky enough to have an extended family and a large family that helps us and does above and beyond to help take care of Gemma. But I was able to quit my job to stay home and take care of her full time. I was a school teacher for 17 years, and in May of 2017, I resigned to take care of her full time, and just with her therapy needs and a lot of the daycare. She had a AV canal defect. She had a hole in her heart, so she had some extra care in her first few years, and the daycares were just not equipped to handle her. And so that's had a dream of kind of doing stuff, a little center here in Sulphur Springs where we could, outreach and could help, maybe even have a daycare there that could take in kids that are not, suited for other daycares. And I'm taking a course through Landmark Worldwide called Self-Expression Leadership Program. And the purpose of that is to create a project to give back to your community. And I want to give back to this community to help all the other families that may not be as fortunate that can quit their job and take care of their child, and just to bring outreach and awareness. Like I said previously, we wasn't around any kids with Down syndrome or special needs, and just didn't know how to act around them, and we really want to bring that awareness to everyone.
And this is needed. I think all of us who may be listening feel that sometimes we see a disabled person and we don't exactly know what to say or how to behave. So education for all of us is kind of part of this vision, and it is truly a vision. A vision meeting is planned very soon.
Yes. We have our second vision meeting. It is scheduled for Monday, March the 25th. At 5:30, we will serve refreshments, and then at 6 p.m., our meeting will take off. We have created a very unique connection. Clay and I did not know each other prior to February 6th. On February 6th, Clay and I met for the first time, and our connection came together through our city manager, Mark Maxwell. Clay had been in communication with Sarah Dykes about his vision, and I sat down with Mark for breakfast and wanted to share my vision. And he said, oh my gosh, there's someone in town that wants to do the same thing you want to do. I immediately picked up the phone and called Clay, and I just ran my mouth for about 45 minutes, and he probably had, as they say, a mic drop. And we immediately scheduled an appointment, and upon our first meeting, we were like, this is going to happen. We are doing this. And so our goal is to raise $10 million. That is our seed money to get this off the ground and get it going. We want to build from the ground up because this will be a very specialized center. It will be all-inclusive and ultra-accessible. So you have your ADA rules, but when you go into the spectrum of ultra accessible, that means that we will have lifts. That means we will have extra wide doors, not just ADA approved doors, but extra wide doors. And restroom facilities that have lifts and bars and are specially equipped. So if someone comes in and has MS or has the inability to use their legs, there's a lift that will lift them up and help them, with that need that they have. So we are wanting to build from the ground up so that we are creating the right environment for our individuals.
This is jumping way ahead to time of completion, but do you think this would attract some families?
Yes, that is
with special needs?
Yes, that is our goal. We want to bring families to Hopkins County and create jobs and a welcoming environment.
Yes, that was one of our big things. We want to have attached to the center a restaurant that hires and trains individuals with disabilities, and like I said, bring awareness to Sulphur Springs as a town that is fully including all special needs, all individuals, and really, I mean, we're on this I-30 corridor. It's just growing, and we could really, with these types of facilities, really entice families to come out and take place in Sulphur Springs and live and bring their, especially with, kids with special needs, and those families in a rural area would be very, very beneficial for the city.
For families who are here now with special needs children and coping as best that they can, trying to reach out for the resources that they need, and those who maybe have already successfully, done their job as parenting, who want to give to this cause, all these and others are invited to learn more, come to the meeting.
Yes, come to the meeting. Coming to the vision meeting is your first opportunity to engage with Clay and I and to hear our vision and hear our story. We have an event slated as well, our very first fundraising event. It is scheduled for Saturday, April 6th from 6 to 10 p.m. at Backstory Brewery. Backstory Brewery has been very gracious in allowing us to use their facility. We have many community sponsors that have already jumped in and helped us as well to create this, but we are very excited. It will be a concert with Cass Haley and Matt Fioc, and we will also have a fashion show, a spring fashion show, and our models will be our special abilities community individuals. And we are having an art auction, and the artwork is also being created by individuals with special needs as well. That will be auctioned off. So,
wow.
And you can find us now on Facebook, so just Google Care Center. Just remember it's all caps, but it's also period, so capital C, period, capital A, period, capital R, period, capital E, period, Center.
On Facebook?
Yes.
Okay. And so, I know that there'll be several, this being held at City Hall. Mark Maxwell will be part of that to introduce you, because he kind of did bring you two together.
He did.
Yes.
And a question and answer session following the information that you provide.
Yes, we're very excited to share.
Okay.
We jump around like we're we're sitting still right now, but trust me.
Yes,
you're on
we
go on the
would
inside.
like to have anybody. I mean, there's numerous ways that you could help. We'd love to have, it doesn't necessarily have to be monetary donations. It could be volunteering or just helping spread the word and spread awareness. So we really want to take this not from mine and Renee's project, but to the city of Sulphur Springs, the community of Sulphur Springs, because something this large, that's what it's going to take, and we really want to create something to really put Sulphur Springs on the map.
Well, I think about your children and their how long they might live and need. And as we were discussing earlier, we don't have very much time to speak of it much, but they are living longer like everyone else.
Yes. Through love, through love, through the advancement of medicine and science. Our special needs community is rapidly growing, and we are outgrowing the service connections that are already in place, because when these laws were written and these services were written through Medicaid, Medicare, things like that, they were not expecting individuals like Candy and Gemma to outgrow their expected life expectancy. And Candy will now be 40 soon in August. And when she was a baby, once she became ill, the doctors gave my family, my sister and her father and my mother, just very little time. They were like, take her home and love her. And I think many families can relate to that. That's probably what the doctors say. Take them home and love them. And you do. You take them home and you love them. And that's the biggest medicine.
And for all. I'm looking forward to this meeting, and we'll continue to point people to Monday, this coming Monday, March 25th at City Hall, and be there around 5:30, kind of meet and greet and network, and then down to the introduction of the very important vision meeting at 6.
Yes.
And you'll meet Clay Pirtle, and you'll meet Renee Aguilar and others who are coming into your circle now.
Yes.
Okay. Well, we are very pleased on this day today, World Down Syndrome Day, that you two came in to share with us and open our eyes.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much for having us.
In sports, the North Hopkins Panthers baseball team opened district play at home Tuesday afternoon with a solid 10-1 win over Sulphur Bluff. The Panthers took a 1-0 lead in the bottom of the first on a Wyatt Wharton home run. The Panthers then put up 6 big runs in the second inning to take a 7-0 lead. The Panthers got RBIs in that inning from Kevin Clement, who singled, Jeffrey Stewart, who doubled, Jesse Rivera, who got on an error, Caleb Wyatt, who tripled, Wharton, who singled, and Bryson Gillespie, who singled. The Panthers scored 2 more runs in the third and a single run in the fifth, and the Panthers had 13 hits. Stewart was very good on the mound, and he got the pitching wind, allowing only 1 run and 1 hit over 5 1/3 innings. Stewart struck out 8 and walked 1. Gillespie finished up pitching an inning and 2/3 and allowing no runs or hits while striking out 4 and walking 2. The Panthers got 2 hits from Wharton, Gillespie, Branson Thomas, and Stewart. Those getting 1 hit included Colby Cameron, Wyatt, Victor Rojo, Clement, and Rivera. Brandon Branham took the loss for Sulphur Bluff. He allowed 2 earned runs only. Ryan Vance was 1 for 3 for Sulphur Bluff, and he hit a double and scored their lone run in the top of the 6th inning. Montana Hurley drove Vance in with a sacrifice fly. And that's Channel 8 TV News for today. I'm Don Julian. Thank you for watching, and so long, everybody.